Hi, friends. This is Rocky, and it's Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. And I'm going to give you some advice today because, once again, it's unsolicited advice. And this is unsolicited advice number 4. Whoops, let me see if I can get that out there. Investing and speculating, what's the difference? Some people say, well, those two terms are about the same. They both mean the same. They're interchangeable. And other people say, and not me included, say that these are two completely different terms and the distinction is very important. Still others say, hey, the whole system's set up to be just a big old crapshoot, and I go out and when I get my paycheck, I spend it, and that way I'm sure to get value out of it. Other people say, hey, it's all set up so the rich can take advantage of the poor, and rather than get involved with that debate, I'm just going to give you my definitions of the two terms and a couple of related terms. The first term is savings. To me, savings is foregoing current consumption in order to try to get greater future consumption, or at least better future consumption. In order to invest or speculate or even gamble, you need to save some money up because all those places want you to put the money up first. And savings is a good thing. Currently, a high yield savings account pays 2.1%. And last year, the inflation rate was 2.28%. So if you slowly want to see your money grinded away, the value grinded away anyway, putting it in a savings account is a good way to go. I'm not saying don't put your money in a savings account. Please don't take that. That's what I'm saying here. Because savings account have definite good uses. If you want to keep your money safe while you're waiting to put it someplace else, they're great. And if you want to save some money for a rainy day and where you can get almost instant access to it, saving accounts and checking accounts are great. I have both of them. The next definition I have is actually investing. And to me, investing is acquiring some sort of a productive asset, like a rental house or some stocks or bonds, something that produces something so that in the long run, you're going to come out ahead and other people, and you're coming out ahead by producing stuff for other people. So there's a win-win in the definition, some sort of a win. And in the long run, overall and on average, you generally come out ahead. That doesn't mean everybody comes out ahead, but usually with an investment, people come out ahead. Stocks, real estate, bonds, T-notes, that's all investing of one sort or another, in my definition. The next term is speculating. And for me, speculating is when you're entering into some sort of an exchange where ultimately not everybody comes out ahead. Usually one person comes out ahead and the other person loses the same amount. It's a zero-sum game. And in a lot of cases, commodities are one prime example of this. One person sells a commodities contract, the other person buys it, and the amount that one person gains is exactly the amount the other person loses. It's actually a little bit of a negative sum game because usually there is a market involved and the people that facilitate the trade take out a little chunk, not much usually. So it's just slightly a negative sum game. I've traded commodities and it's not for the faint of heart. When you get, the first thing you get is a letter from the company that you're going to deal with before they let you trade commodities, telling you that 95% of people that trade commodities come out behind and only about 5% come out ahead. That's not good odds. If you think you know something, you got some information that you can turn into money through the commodities market, or you're smart enough to figure out what's going to come down the pike, well, I guess 95% of people are just fooling themselves. The other 5% have a slight edge. So if you're willing to take the 1 to 20 risk, commodities might be something you might consider, but I don't suggest it, and most people don't. That is definitely speculating. The fourth term I'm going to define here today is gambling, and some people just like to take risk. It gives them a high. There's some endorphins or some sort of thing that makes them feel good, or at least in the moment. But gambling usually is done in a place, there's a game involved somehow. Usually it's a casino or a bar with pull tabs or something. And in general and on average, you're going to come out behind, and the establishment is going to come out ahead. They didn't build Las Vegas on the winners hauling the money away with them going home. They built it on the losers going home with their pockets empty. So that's gambling. And at one time, I was told by somebody I respected that there's two ways to make money in the stock market. One way is to put your eggs all in different baskets. That's called diversification, and there's books written on it, and there's even things called mutual funds that get you to do it with painlessly, but you just put your money in and you're already diversified. The other way, he said, was to put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket very closely. Well, I don't know if that's good advice. I have to admit that I've done that once or twice in my life, and somehow I made it through. But I would say that the not putting putting your eggs in different baskets everywhere, the diversification is more like investing, and putting them all in one basket is more like speculating. I'm certainly not suggesting that you invest or buy any of these particular types of products. What I am suggesting, my unsolicited advice to you is, number one, know the difference between gambling, speculating, investing, and savings. Don't fool yourself. I occasionally have people come up to me and say, "Yeah, I invested in gold yesterday." No, you didn't. You're speculating in gold. If you bought gold, it may go up, it may go down, but it's not going to create little gold nuggets for you by sitting on the shelf. There's no productive asset there. You may come out ahead, you may know something, you may have figured it out, but that doesn't mean that you're investing. Somebody else that sold you that gold is now got cash that's going to be worth less than your gold. The other thing, my other advice is to think to yourself whether or not benefiting yourself at the expense of somebody else is something you want to do. And in the commodities market, that's exactly what's happening. Somebody out there has the other side of the contract that you're purchasing, and if you can't gain, they're losing. So those are my two pieces of unsolicited advice today. Understand what you're doing, research it, and determine whether or not you're okay with benefiting at other people's expense. This is unsolicited advice number 4, and I thank you for watching. Bye.